You're listening to On the Pole Podcast with your pole sitter, Earl.
Hook to it and just jerk it off.
And outside front row, Derek Carpoletti.
That is shoving the hot dog in the bun right there.
Every time. We're the only ones that can see those screens. All right, everybody, welcome to the On the Pole Podcast. This is your impromptu, informal intro by the pole sitter, Earl. And I'm joined by outside front row, Derek. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad. How about yourself?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. First regular real race weekend has come and gone in Las Vegas. It was just like I said it would be. It was a boring race, and had not a boring winner. I can't say Kyle Larson's boring, but I saw that coming. I actually made that pick, not just on the podcast, but before Atlanta was over. Somewhere around stage 2 of Atlanta, I turned to my wife and I told her Kyle Larson's going to win Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a routine week, right?
Yeah, he did it in boring Hendrick, Kyle Larson fashion at Las Vegas. What's that, 4 spring races in a row?
Well, yeah, for Hendrick, yeah.
Yep.
And we know it's so many more. Like Jimmy Johnson used to win the first, California or Vegas race of the year every year. Like the dominant team wins the first real race every year. So obviously Hendrick's still one of the top dogs. At least the 24 and the 5 are.
Yeah, it was kind of funny when they called out the 48 and the 9 as being the lesser of the Hendrick cars. So it was the first time publicly in a broadcast that Chase Elliott was rated B class at Hendrick, like officially.
Yeah.
Which was kind of awesome to hear.
It is. It's an interesting storyline. It's almost the Dale Jr. thing all over again.
Mm-hmm.
He's not running as good as he should, but he's going to keep winning popular driver. I actually saw this before I came on the podcast here. Kyle Larson tied Chase Elliott for 3rd all time in the Hendrick wins list. So he caught him pretty fast in the Hendrick list.
Yeah. You also have to factor in Chase didn't win for like the first 3 years.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he only really had a year or two of winning, and then he's like a 1 or less time winner a year at this point. To
be fair, Larson used to drive a Ganassi car, and he took a year off.
True. Yeah. And you said he tied at Hendrick wins, so that's just
they're
his
both
Hendrick
at
win.
18 wins for Hendrick Motorsports, 3rd all time.
Yeah.
For Hendrick.
That's crazy that 18 wins puts you 3rd all time on the Hendrick win list.
I know. And then you don't have to worry about it for a while. Like, you're not getting to 2nd or 1st. Like, they're both pretty great drivers. I don't think either of them are going to get to 2nd or 1st.
Yeah.
On that list.
But like as great as of a team as Hendrick is, it's weird that that's all it takes to get you 3rd.
Yeah. Yeah, because they had a lot of spread out drivers and then just a couple that really dominated.
Do you know how many wins?
That somebody like Terry Labonte didn't, amass a couple more wins than that.
And that's just old school NASCAR. You can win a championship on 1 or 2 wins in a season.
Yeah, as long as you finish 4th every other race.
Hold on. I lost my camera.
Oh, man. I'm not editing this part out. All right, so this episode is called The One Where the Camera Fell.
So where were we?
Okay. Something about Chase Elliott sucks. He's not any good anymore.
So
and Kyle Larson is,
yeah.
dog.
So what I was going to say was, where is Alex Bowman on that win list? Is he above Terry Labonte?
He's probably close. Alex Bowman, I think he won 4 races the 1 year, won the first year. So I think if I had to guess, Alex Bowman has 9 career wins. I bet he's like 1 or 2 off Terry as far as Hendrick goes.
Yeah. That's wild that Alex Bowman has that many wins.
Yeah, I remember when we thought he wasn't going to do anything. Like he had to take that year off and just wait for Junior to retire. Nobody told us whether or not he was going to get the job or not.
Yeah, that
They
was
wanted to
weird.
put like Eric Jones. People were like fantasy casting Eric Jones back then.
Mm-hmm.
I think Larson too. People always back then. Everybody was like Larson's going to leave Ganassi.
Finally did it.
Yeah, he had.
So,
Yeah.
so my pick was Brad Keselowski, and that was clearly an epic fail. The Ford showed a lot of speed in qualifying, and then the race started, and then you didn't really see him ever again, other than Noah Gragson, asterisk. But yeah, Brad was nowhere to be found. Chris Boucher blew a rim, hit the wall, broke the wall, from my understanding.
Broke the wall, blew the wall, blew it all.
Yeah. So I definitely went the wrong direction. You nailed it with your conservative pick. Yeah, I mean, Ford definitely didn't have the speed. Brad, who's the champion? Ryan Blaney.
Who's the champion? What have the playoffs done to us?
Ryan Blaney
Blaney.
ran pretty decent the whole race for the most part. But the star at the end was Noah Gragson. He did pretty well. I think he finished in the top 10. I heard that with that performance, it pretty much netted to 0 points after the points he lost. It was the penalty last week. So something to build on.
Yeah, I got to admit, it was before we were podcasting, but I was pretty down on Noah. Double stacks over here. I was pretty down on Noah. I know he won 13 career Xfinity races and everything like that. I didn't think he was going to do very good. And that was a surprising run at a track like Las Vegas, and Stewart Haas isn't doing very well right now. Yeah, didn't see that coming at all, honestly.
Yeah, I hope he can continue it. I like Noah when he was winning those Xfinity races, he was chugging those beers on the front stretch and climbing fences. He just looked like a real party animal. As long as he can keep his meme liking under control and puts together a couple of good runs this year, I think that'll cement him as the top dog at SHR.
Yeah, I mean, that's up for grabs, right? I mean, with a run like that too, Briscoe seems to find himself at the front, just like last week when they were like, "Oh, he's really trying to start something. He's a real ass clown." And then eventually he wrecked. I feel like that's Briscoe. Like, he won a race back early, in his second year, and he seems to emerge at the front and then just kind of overdrive his car and fall back. And so, yeah, the top dog spot at Stewart Haas Racing is probably up for grabs. And even with that one run that Noah just had, he put them all on notice.
Yeah, I didn't get to see. I guess I didn't pay attention. How did the 4-car run, Barry?
4-car, he was in the back half of the top 20, like somewhere around 17th to like 21st for most of the day, and I never saw him really emerge past that. Interestingly enough, your pick, Brad K, he actually had a little bit of a spat with him at some point in the race there. He didn't appreciate how hard Josh was racing him, and the spotters kind of got into it and everything like that. So, yeah, Josh is he's going to have to learn from the mid-pack. Like racing in the mid-pack is a different beast than racing up front. He's kind of in the hornet's nest right now, and there's champions back there like Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sucks that, I'm not really a Ford guy, but it sucks to see him kind of not even really be equals to Chevy and Toyota like year after year now.
Yeah. And not just Ford, Team Penske. I know they won the last 2 championships and everything like that, but I just became accustomed to like Penske's a contender. Like, they're going to come up and take these races every once in a while, and you just got to put up with it. I mean, then yeah, Penske seems to, Joey is such a good raw driving talent. He's going to win races still. Similar to how, a lot of these guys were overdriving their cars and everything like that, making the most out of their equipment. Logano's going to get that sometimes, but obviously, with Cindric and everything, they're not getting a lot of data.
Yeah, and they're not even far off. I was listening to Cliff Daniels in his post-race interview. He was saying one of the notes he's going to take away from the weekend on his flight back was that between first and like 20th, I think he said, the lap times were only a 10th different from first to 20th. So like
Wow.
the field, he said the field is considerably tighter than they were in the fall. So it doesn't take much. I mean, you find a little bit of speed, whole different group of guys are going to be in the mix. So I think
we saw a
parity
lot
is
of
definitely
people.
at an all-time high.
We saw a lot of people up front during this race that we don't see a lot. Like, we saw Carson Hocevar and Corey LaJoy for a little while. We'll get back to them later, but Kyle Busch, we used to seeing him run up front. He ran up front a lot, and then man,
You know who you didn't see? Austin Dillon.
Yeah.
They need
Everyone
to get-
used to that by now. Am I surprised?
I'm not surprised about anything. Congratulations.
I keep forgetting you have those, and I set you up anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle, obviously it's Kyle Busch, but he ran in the top 3 that whole race. And Austin Dillon, I guess you told me at the end he appeared, but the whole race he was in the mid-20s the whole entire deal. So that's kind of disappointing that, not even disappointing, it's pretty predictable that Austin Dillon does that, but the cars are clearly better than that. They need to get him out of there and get someone better. Not Austin Hill.
No, not Austin Hill. I definitely don't think Austin Hill's the guy. I mean, it was like that when Reddick was there too. Reddick was running. Reddick won 3 races that one year, and I don't know. You're right. I mean, there's gonna come a time when Austin Dillon's gonna have to okay, someone could do this better than me, because he's gonna be an executive of the team someday, and that's gonna have to be an executive decision you'd have to make. Not just to keep driving the car. And maybe it's a sponsorship thing. Maybe Bass Pro would leave without him, or Dillon still, he's got the 3, so he still carries a lot of marketability with him. With companies not knowing how much we hate him.
All right, you got 3 seconds. Who would be a perfect replacement? Go.
Jesse Love.
Yeah, that's not bad.
You gave me 3 seconds, and I didn't want to say Austin Hill. So Jesse Love does seem like
Who doesn't love Love?
Yeah, I love.
And
Love.
he's honestly been not bad from what I've saw the Xfinity races, and obviously in ARCA, but that wasn't really yet the best car. Yeah,
ARCA doesn't tell you much anymore,
Oh, so
I don't see it though. I mean, like you said, you gave me 3 seconds, and it's really hard in the Xfinity series right now. There's a lot of known quantities in the Xfinity series right now, and then a lot of unknowns. Like, if I had to pull anybody from the Xfinity series right now, it'd probably be Anthony Alfredo. Sort of like the highest risk, highest ceiling kind of pick there, just because he has so much experience in all the different cars. But yeah, not Austin Dillon.
No. He has to. I mean, like you said, you had Reddick that did really well, and you have Kyle Busch that comes in and does really well. I don't remember who was before Reddick. Paul Menard.
It was Daniel Hemrick.
Hemrick, yeah. So yeah, you had Reddick and you had Kyle Busch. Both did well, win multiple races a year. And Austin Dillon will luck into one every year or two. They definitely need to make a decision to get someone else in that car. Like you said, it could be a marketing thing, but at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like Richard Childers could get Bass Pro Shop to sponsor the car. He's a big into the hunting game, and Bass Pro Shop sponsors half the field. It can't be too difficult.
Yeah, it's all about finding the right driver and the right fit, I guess. I mean, Austin does kind of take care of his equipment in a sense of he's not out there wrecking unnecessarily or taking out other drivers anymore. I don't know, maybe it's a safe bet, because your question, you putting me on the spot, made me think they think Austin Hill is ready. I don't think Austin Hill is really cut material. He definitely reads like an Xfinity lifer, but I don't think it's going to play out that way. And there's not really a prospect. We're going to have to wait a couple of years before a lot of people's jobs are safe for a little while.
Everyone's job is safe except for Alex Bowman.
Yeah.
Raja
Yeah, Raja
Carruth's coming
Caruth.
for it.
Yeah, and then he gets out of the truck and he's like, "Thank you, Mr. H."
Oh yeah, and
Yeah, I guess
Inspire.
that's not a secret anymore. Spire Motorsports is basically just Hendrick Light.
And I guess I don't follow the trucks or even Raja all that much, but I mean, apparently his stats really aren't that bad for the amount of starts he's made. Was his 30th start, first win, and really in the last like 15 starts, he's like rocketed in as far as his stats go. So
There's
could
an
be it.
argument that he didn't have great equipment in the first couple starts either. Like the first handful, he was with Nice, and then the time he was with GMS, they were shutting down. At the end of that year, and they weren't running really that well with any of their cars at that time. So yeah, I mean, now that he's got a legit good truck, we know Spire has, speed in the truck series of the former Kyle Busch Motorsports. Kyle Busch is still involved in a certain sense. So yeah, it was really cool to see him win that race. And, that's probably, I'm excited to see what he does in the Xfinity series. I'm a believer that the trucks don't tell you very much.
Yep. Do you think he'll be in the Hendrick Xfinity car this year?
Probably. They didn't list him among the starters, but they could just be holding that. Like they weren't planning to do Xfinity at all until 2 years ago or something, and then they would just add races here and there. I'm pretty sure they just do it on a case-by-case basis. So, like, for instance, when they go back to Vegas, I imagine that'd be a good place to try him out. I'm not sure if anyone has it already.
When I think Hendrick Xfinity series, I only think of Brian Vickers. The 57 Mountain Dew car. Or ride a French fries.
Yeah.
And Garnier Fruities.
Good.
I don't know why those stick out to me.
No, yeah. I see that too. I mean, yeah. That was a long time ago. Making me feel old.
I remember it.
Like you said Brian Vickers, and I thought for sure you were going somewhere else. And it was like Brian Vickers Busch series. Like, oh man. That was forever ago.
So the big speculation is that Honda's coming. What are you gonna do?
Well, I believe it this time, based on the fact that Adam Stern was the one who shared the tweet of one of the reporters saying that Honda's coming soon. From what I've read, 2026 is like the earliest it can be.
Yeah.
Based on like improving the body and stuff like that. We talked earlier about Spire Motorsports. Obviously, Spire Motorsports, they're a little bit for hire. It seems like, that could be a candidate maybe.
So I got a few questions. I'm not an expert on charter. I'm not an expert in Spire or Honda.
Yeah, let's have a charter segment here.
So Spire last year got the Gamebridge sponsorship, and I believe it was a connection with Andretti, who also races an IndyCar and is a Honda-backed team, if I'm not correct.
Yeah, without checking any of my facts, I do believe Andretti still runs Hondas. And yeah, Gamebridge was a partnership. Well, it was believed to be a partnership. I don't think that part ever got completely clarified, but Marco Andretti has made starts with Spire Motorsports in the Truck Series. And Gamebridge, obviously, is a shared sponsor between the two. And, that's kind of where the ties end, except for the fact that Spire kind of came out of nowhere. There's Jeff Dickerson's the name of one of the guys, and I can't remember the other, but they're agents. They run an agency that signs a lot of the NASCAR drivers. So a lot of these people knew the Spire guys already. To me, they seem like businessmen. They're buying up charters because there's value in charters. And then they're signing people like Zane Smith as a rental agreement to a team like Trackhouse, who's probably also paying, to have Zane Smith sit in that seat. So they do seem like a really good candidate to, if a manufacturer came along and offered them a big stack of money and said, be our flagship, Spire, that's bottom to top for them. Like they were nobody just a couple years ago.
So So here's a little bit of my confusion. So Spire has been buying charters because they see value in charter. They've also obviously been spending a lot of money, which means that money's coming from somewhere. But the NASCAR has 4 charters for if another manufacturer comes in. So why would they be buying the charters if they can just get the charters from NASCAR to bring in a new manufacturer?
Well, that's a good point. And it kind of lends itself to the idea that either they didn't know that they were going to be able to court a fourth manufacturer, or they're not the team, you know? Because you're right. Adding 4 charters, it devalues the current charters. And, they compensate the current charter owners for that. They take the average, what the charter is deemed to be worth right now at mid-pack, I believe. And the average number there is what they charge those new owners for the 4 new charters that they're creating. All that money gets distributed evenly amongst the 36 original charter holders. The fee that they make the new ones pay. So they're not necessarily getting it for free. Like when the 4 new charters are created, Andretti or Trackhouse or Max Verstappen, Red Bull, whoever it is, they'll have to pay about $50 million in charter fees just to compensate the current charter holders, like Michael Jordan and Pitbull. Rick Hendrick, I guess.
Yeah. You remember at my wedding when the DJ played Fireball, and it was either you or Corey. They're like, "This is NASCAR world-renowned NASCAR team owner Pitbull."
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, but it's a crazy sport now. Like we got Honda on the horizon. Like personally, just a couple years ago, it'd be weird to be talking about Honda, and now we have people like Trackhouse. Like Trackhouse is high up in my list of a team that might just decide to change things up and bring Honda in. They're constantly doing things differently. So Trackhouse, I think, is another candidate there for joining the Honda invasion. I don't know. I think there's also somebody out there we don't know about as well. Somebody we haven't thought of yet. Like I jokingly said Red Bull, but Red Bull, Mercedes, like there's a lot of different race organizations out there that might see value in NASCAR.
So here's a conspiracy theory also.
All right.
SVG goes to Trackhouse, and he's a Red Bull athlete. And like you were saying, Red Bull or Trackhouse likes to shake things up. It could be, maybe. What manufacturer did SVG run in Australia?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Really don't.
We'll say it's Honda.
Ford, but Holden. Sorry.
Yeah, it's probably Honda, right?
Yeah, I mean, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a tie-in if Red Bull was going to get back into NASCAR. I mean, they're probably pretty bored with F1 from my understanding. That they just...
Yeah, they're already... I heard that the first race happened, they clinched.
But yeah, I mean, Honda's pretty cool. I'd be excited about it. I always thought like Kia would make a pretty cool looking race car. Honda's probably right in that same alley, so I think it'll look cool if nothing else. Spire seems like they're in the right direction, so if they are the right person for that, it could be good also.
Yeah, and there you go. The internet has a couple non-Stewart Haas related fourth manufacturer theories they can dick around with.
Oh yeah, then you got that too, yeah.
Yeah, if you go looking for it anywhere else, it's all Stewart Haas. Like, why wouldn't Honda just offer a big check to the 4-car team?
So
and it makes sense.
I guess one more thought: the Honda F1 team. What manufacturer is that? Is that Honda?
Yeah, well, I think it used to be Honda, and now it's just fueled by Red Bull. Like No, I mean, someone told me this. Red Bull just like builds their own engines and chassis. It's just an energy drink company.
But what about Stewart Haas?
Oh, sorry. I
or
thought you
Haas.
asked who Red Bull was using.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, Haas. I don't know.
Yeah, probably Honda. I'm just making up information.
I'm curious now. We'll get that another time. But I'm sure that if it were Honda, that we would have already heard that from all the internet detectives. So
Yeah. So one more thing on Honda. I said that before, but I'm gonna say it again. One more thing on Honda.
we're gonna hear about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, years.
I heard on TikTok that if Honda comes to NASCAR, they're leaving IndyCar. Have you heard anything about that?
I didn't hear anything about that, but I've heard separately that NASCAR made an effort to make things cheaper for the next gen car, and Indy really hasn't done that same kind of cost-effective strategy. And I think some of the owners are thinking about it. I think that it is really what precedes Andretti in the first place as the candidate as well, is that the costs are running higher and higher and higher in Indy, and more teams are thinking, I could just run the 500 and have a NASCAR team,
Right. That's my prediction.
That's all I really care about.
My prediction is Andretti and Spire bring in Honda with Gamebridge, and pretty much global domination from there from Spire.
The Spire Empire has only just begun.
T-shirt.
Yeah, they're gonna be Spire Empire. They got to pay us to get that back.
I actually just bought the domain to spireempire.com.
Okay, we got them right where we want them.
And spireempire.motorsports.
Motorsports.
And spireempire. Who gives a fuck? Next topic.
All right. Well, my paper says the next topic is NASCAR Jesus. NASCAR Jesus has given the finger to the peacock. Junior's leaving NBC.
Yeah, who cares? Next topic.
The Ken Squire of our generation.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited that Junior's leaving, but Peacock just peacock themselves. They just got Jeff Burton. Someone told, it might have been Denny Hamlin on his podcast, said that this podcast is just a recap of Denny Hamlin's podcast.
Yeah, just like that.
He said that
Denny's podcast, but you hate listening to Denny Hamlin. We got you.
He said that Steve Letarte is like the number one asset at NBC, even when Dale Jr. was there. That may have been taken out of context, but that's pretty much what he said. He couldn't have been any more wrong. They have than Dale Jr., it's the worst broadcast team in all of NASCAR. I'd rather watch the truck race with Jamie Little and Michael Waltrip.
For real. Maybe that's who they'll get to replace him. It'd be way better, because I remember transitioning into the NBC part of the season before Junior was a broadcaster and being disappointed. Like, oh, now we got to fucking put up with Rick Allen. I got to put up with Jeff Burton, and Letarte is absolutely the worst. Like, I could deal with Jeff Burton. Steve Letarte really irritates me. And Rick Allen's kind of had like a DW type circle around where I'm actually entertained by Rick Allen nowadays, but I need Dale Jr. there to even it out. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like, I don't know who they're going to get to replace him. I can't even think of one. Like, just if I was being crazy about it, like, nobody's really good enough to follow Junior and fix that. It's bad.
And the thing with NBC that I think they lack without Dale Jr. and before Dale Jr. Is that all the personalities are the same. They're all over analytical, like trying to be professional broadcast. Like, Rick Allen's not bad, but you need the contrast to Rick Allen. And Jeff Burton is horrible. And what's his name? Steve Letarte, he's just a nerd. He's not even interesting like Larry Mack.
Knows he's a nerd.
Yeah. I don't like it.
No, not one
I just
bit.
want to give him a wedgie and a swirly.
Jesus. Oh man, the whole bit.
A whole bit. Give him the number 3 special.
Yeah. I don't know. They're probably screwed, but it's not like they're look, NBC. They'll just not, re-up the next contract or sell the rights to someone else, or I don't know how that works anymore.
That could be it too. Maybe they don't care anymore. Maybe they're on their way out.
Yeah. I did hear that it wasn't about the booth. They're not gonna do a remote booth in the NBC broadcast. They are still gonna have the guys at the track.
Mhm.
That part was at least not true. I think that, but I do think that creative control mattered to Junior. I just don't think it's what moved him. I think a big fat check is what got Junior to. He's got to save up if he ever wants to buy a Cup charger. His Junior going to Honda's not happening.
That'd be awesome.
Can you imagine?
I'd buy the T-shirt.
I don't know what I'd do. I'd have to wait for the Civil War to break out. Like all the fans who support Junior and a foreign manufacturer, and all the fans that were going to hold the line.
Yeah, it'd be a battle in Mooresville.
Oh yeah.
But so mentioning Junior with creative control at Amazon, that would actually be awesome. So on Denny Hamlin's podcast, he was saying, but he was saying that he hoped Dale Jr. would do like the broadcast if he has creative control, but end up doing the broadcast like differently than, I mean, NASCAR broadcasts have been the same forever. I mean, yeah, you bring in some new technology and some new screen graphics, but fundamentally it's been the same broadcast since ever. It would be cool if someone like Junior or just an outside perspective like Amazon could bring in just a new way to watch the race. I don't know how that is. I mean, I've only watched the race one way forever, but
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but hopefully they do try something. There's a lot of options when it comes to streaming. Like, give us access to multiple camera feeds, or the ability to maybe turn off. If people are annoyed by Dale Jr., you should be able to mute him, but still hear the cars.
Yeah.
Just a couple ideas off the top of my head.
ooh, what if they did like a animation broadcast alternative, like
The
I don't
whole
know, like a SpongeBob or something.
Oh man, your whole thing on this episode is just trying to speak things into existence that already existed, as if they were our idea.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I heard on Denny Hamlin's podcast.
Yeah, I heard on Denny Hamlin's podcast that it's already a done deal, and that Amazon doesn't even own any cartoons, do they?
No,
I
they
couldn't
will.
even think of a good Amazon show fast enough to be like, oh, they're gonna do it.
Yeah, I think they just got like these really horrible documentaries about musicians that are just pretty much YouTube videos, but still slideshows.
I guess that's who's gonna have to call the races from now on. Is the actors who play musicians in biographies.
So,
Yeah.
Ford sucks.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, parity in the top 6. It was Chevy, Toyota, Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Ford, and the Toyotas were fast.
Oh yeah.
The Toyotas are scary almost, because I don't really like anybody who drives a Toyota at this point in time, except for maybe Nemechek, only because I know he's going to be a winner. But
Tony, what is his name? Not Joe. It's John Hunter. He is horrible.
Yeah.
He'll never make it.
I think he's good. I don't think he's like a future Cup champion, but he's gonna win races this year.
He's not gonna. Jimmy Johnson has a better chance of winning a race this year than John Hunter.
Jimmy Johnson can't even get past lap 5.
exactly my point.
Laps completed this season, you know.
Jimmy Johnson still has a better chance of completing 5 laps of the race than John Hunter Nemechek has of winning a race.
All right. Well, we got a whole season. It's a long season. We'll see how that plays out.
Hang on a second. So I have here a bet.
Oh.
If John Hunter Nemechek wins a race this year before Jimmy Johnson, and vice versa, the loser of this bet has to drink this. I don't know if you can see it here.
No. It looks like
it's a mystery
like
drink.
Bush. It's a Bush Light from like 1910. The can's made out of wood. Is that a dog beer? Bush.
It's the dog brew by Bush Beer. Expired.
That because I know Jimmy's not going to win.
It's expired in 2021.
Oh God.
The loser has to pound that.
All right.
All right. Deal.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're saying the loser only has to pound it once either Jimmy Johnson or John Hunter Nemechek win.
This year, yes.
This year, okay. Yeah. Which, and if neither of them win, we can both just throw that beer away.
We're not going to throw it away, no. But I mean, we won't drink it.
Back where you got it from.
Yeah, I'll put it back. Good odds that nobody's drinking that, but
yeah. That's why I wanted to make sure that it was a bet that, you know, hopefully neither of us. I don't want to have to see you every day and know you drank that dog beer. All right. No, yeah, Ford sucks.
Yeah.
There's not much else you could say about it. Like, Noah and Blaney did all right, but as far as the performance over the entire race, it was pretty pitiful.
And how did Noah even get there? I didn't pay attention. I just saw him at the end. He was there. Was it a strategy?
I really have no idea. I mean, after about 5 laps on a restart, your track position and passing was pretty difficult. And that's just how Vegas is. Obviously, there was a few more comers and goers than that. You know, and this is what a comer and goer looks like. But I don't know. Honestly, I didn't know what his car looked like at all. And then I was like, who's that? And then the cameras had cut to him, and they're like, look at Noah. You know, he's a racist, but he's killing
it. I'm gonna guess his car looked like a Bash Pro Shop car.
Nah, it was yellow and black. It looked like code. The I have it right here actually. It looked like one of these, but with more black on the bottom of the door.
Yeah,
this is actually the race win diecast where he punted Denny at Sonoma.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
pretty
sure
sweet.
You can hear Denny talk about it on his podcast.
I remember that race. We were screen printing in the trailer, and we came out and watched the last couple laps there. The memorable day.
Yeah.
So the next big thing, and probably going to be a letdown, we're going to Phoenix, but NASCAR is bringing the new short track package, and I don't know what that means, but maybe you do.
Well, I feel like they just took took a couple inches off the spoiler.
Yeah. Less inches, more pleasure.
Less inches, more pleasure, yeah. So, that's it. That's all I know. They changed the short track package last year, and I didn't notice a difference, and so I kind of stopped looking into it until I saw something on track that made a difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's better. Historically, I hate Phoenix. Like, lifelong NASCAR fan. I haven't missed a race in years, but Phoenix. Like, it's like they paved that dog leg and thought that made up for everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a short track, and it's also not a miler. Like, it's just nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love Phoenix. I don't really hate Phoenix. I never remember the spring race. The only one thing I remember is Chase Briscoe won it once, and he had a really bad bald spot, and no one would give him a hat. That's it. That's all I remember.
Yeah. The spring race barely exists. I feel like when we were younger, Carl Edwards just won it every year, or Kevin Harvick.
Hmm. Well, Harvick's the greatest guy ever to run Phoenix. We'll hear about it, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. I forgot he's in the booth too. So yeah, we're just gonna talk about Kevin Harvick still all week. I don't know. Hopefully it's good. I mean, even if the short track package performs good, it's only gonna be so good.
Yeah.
Because then, if it does what the fans actually want it to do, it's gonna take away a lot of the dog leg. And it's gonna put the racing back up on the surface. That's still gonna be very similar to what we saw at Vegas, which wasn't bad. I just Phoenix, it's a flat track, and there's not really enough straightaway to create too much in the corners. So I think even with a good package, it's not going to be a great race visually.
Yeah. Well, you can't go wrong with a good package, but I don't think Phoenix is the problem. I mean, I've seen a lot of good races at Phoenix, especially in the Xfinity Series. It's clearly just a combination of the new car and the current Phoenix. So hopefully, whatever they're doing for the new short track package, I probably should be more educated on. Hopefully that makes it more appealing to watch.
Yeah, I hope so. So, new short track package or not, so I won this week. I think I got to make you pick first.
Dale.
Well, with that being said, I can't go against Trackhouse. I mean, they won the finale at Phoenix last year with Ross. Nobody knows about it because nobody gave a fucking covered it. But he won, and he legitimately won. He beat Ryan Blaney, fought him all day. There's obviously the famous quotes about how Blaney didn't like how Ross was blocking. Ross didn't give a shit. I'm gonna go Ross Chastain. You can't go against the one car. He's been fast at every race this week, as long as he doesn't speed on pit road for the 4th straight week. Yeah, I feel like the old one car is gonna take it to the house.
That's not a bad pick. I forget. I'm one of those people. I always forget until you bring it up. That Ross won Phoenix, so he has to win again in order to just that way it actually counts as a win.
Oh, he will.
I'm going with Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell, you mentioned the Xfinity Series. I don't think he's won at Phoenix yet in the Cup Series, but he has won at New Hampshire. Phoenix and New Hampshire are two tracks that he just really excelled on when he was in the Xfinity Truck Series. You just play that to make me feel guilty about not picking Soros.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going with Christopher Bell.
All right. Well, have fun being wrong, my friend.
Like how you are right now.
No, I'm completely right. Ross Chastain, number 1 car, the Busch Light car.
Brad Keselowski, Las Vegas. Owner of 20th position.
Yeah, I think someone hacked my page.
Hacked your page, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. They hacked your Starlink, so when we were standing around face to face making these picks, you just spoke the wrong words. It just kind of turned you stupid.
That's fucked up. So I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh boy.
This podcast daily. Is a podcast about other podcasts. But
yeah, Podcast Digest.
What if everybody gets Starlink, but then Russia hacks the Starlink, and then we all become these weird Russian soldiers, kind of like when Plankton put all those buckets on people's heads and controlled it.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that SpongeBob was trying to help protect us from, to make us prepare us for. No, that's the problem in the first place.
Russia, yeah.
Maybe you should be a science fiction writer.
I should.
But
that's more importantly,
the plot of a lot of really famous science fiction books.
But more importantly,
fine.
What did he say?
I'm coming. Oh, never mind.
What did he say?
McMurray got pounded.
What did he say?
I haven't seen this much adolescent bumping and grinding since the prom.
I went to the prom once.
Did you?
Yep. I ate chocolate. There's a chocolate fountain and little sausage wieners. I put them in the chocolate fountain, ate them, and then I went to a party and got trashed.
Yeah.
That was my prom experience.
I was at the party the whole time.
No, yeah, I remember.
I missed the wiener part because I was just already wasted.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's a quote game now, right?
that's right.
All right,
See what you got, Earl.
As a terrible host, I only brought one. Let's have you go first this time.
All right. I don't have first gear in this pile of shit.
I don't have first gear in this pile of shit. Hold on, I watched the race. I remember this. Somebody didn't have first gear. I remember them pushing him away. Is it Tyler Reddick?
It's not, but you're close. You want to take another guess?
Okay, so
It's in the same manufacturer.
yeah, it's Gibbs. Then you flip the number around.
Yeah.
That's my bow. All right.
What do you got for me?
All right, this is actually pretty topical, pretty relevant. It was pretty cool to see his evolution with the air blocking. I was very proud of him.
Air blocking?
Air blocking.
Who hates air blocking?
You know, because you've brought it up at some point in this episode.
Chase Elliott?
No. Like, all those people are laughing because we suck at this.
Do I get another try?
Yeah, you can have another try.
Ryan Blaney.
Okay, well, it's actually Ross Chastain.
Mm.
And he was talking about Ryan Blaney in reference to Blaney, Chastain blocking Blaney at Phoenix and moving around with the air and everything like that. And so he was kind of mocking Blaney and being like, oh, it's nice that he learned how to do that because he finished behind Blaney
Yeah.
in Vegas. And so someone asked him, like, oh, was Blaney trying to block you with the air? And he was like, yeah, he was. It's nice that he learned how to do that. I'm really proud of him.
So, in that same notion, I got another quote for you, Earl.
All right.
That's a joke.
Was that the quote?
No, I got another joke. Or another quote. It's tell that dumb fucker to be smart. What a dick.
Oh man, that one's great. That was super hard. Like at some point, everybody said that.
Yeah, but nobody says it like this person.
Oh, okay. Kyle Busch?
I'm not surprised about anything. Congratulations.
Say it again. He said, tell that dumb fuck to be smart.
He said, tell that dumb fuck to be smart. What a dick.
LaJoy.
I don't have a sound like that. I had to make it every time.
Yeah.
My consistent.
Something really, really hard. Yeah.
Well, you're wrong.
All right.
That was the.
I'll take that.
The quote was from. Originally, I read it on Twitter. It was Ryan Blaney at unidentified driver. Later followed up by Ryan Blaney at Ross Chastain.
Oh, look at that. We had matching quotes.
Yeah, that's why I did that one. I think that's called nuance.
Okay. We're artists here.
Have you ever? No, I've never.
So I know you said you only had one or two, but I do have another one, and it's pretty awesome.
All right, go for it.
All right.
Let's close out on a strong note.
He's been going backwards and plowing like a dump truck. Those are his words, not mine.
Okay, so you want me to tell you who said that?
Yeah.
Okay. It was Jamie Little.
Woo-hoo! Hold on.
Yeah.
Crowd cheering.
So you tried to fool me with that one because it was someone referring to someone else. I actually don't remember who. So during the race, my wife's sitting right next to me, and Jamie Little says that. He says it's plowing like a dump truck. And I was like, somebody tell Jamie that dump trucks don't plow. they haul.
They just dump.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What is that? That was like 6 Bush Lights in this. You get like extra Bush Light every episode.
No, I'm drinking Ross Lights.
Oh, yeah, Ross Light.
Yeah.
Ross Light.
Don't get it confused.
You have to rewrap your cans, you know.
So we got you. I'm going with Ross. You're going with John Hunter Nemechek.
I'm going with Christopher Bell.
Oh, okay.
Nemechek's gonna win like Kansas or something.
I don't think so. I think Jimmy Johnson wins 600, and you're drinking an old expired dog beer.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that's episode what?
5?
5, 10.
Yeah. I want to call it the episode about the dog beer.
I think we should call it the episode of Action Detrimental, the Denny Hamlin podcast experience.
Thank you all. God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.